I talked to Manny on the phone, and he wants to fight one more time.
He wants to fight one more time.
He does. Kid can fight because he had speed and he had power, and it's very, very hard to get those two together
at that size.
Yeah.
They thought it was over, that the final bell had already rung on one of boxing's great giants. Looked small, hoobling with a flurry of work that defied logic. His 2021 loss to your Dennis Yugas Manny Pacquiao stepped out of the ring and into politics, leaving fans with memories instead of expectations, but now in a twist worthy of its own. Documentary, he's back at 46 with knees that have seen 1,000 rounds and hands. Still wrapped in destiny. Why return when everyone says it's too late? Why chase a dream most would say has already passed? Because one man believes the fire never left. Freddie Roach, the Hall of Fame trainer, the soft-spoken architect behind some of boxing's most electric nights. He's seen Pacquiao's punches land in ways even science couldn't explain, and now he's watching them again with the same calm confidence in his voice. Manny can beat Mario Barrios, not survive him, not go the distance, beat him. And if Freddie Roach says it, history tells us we should. This isn't just a comeback story, it's a reckoning, a legend pushing against the weight of time, against logic, against everything we've come to accept about aging fighters, and Roach is holding the door open for one more war, because in his mind Manny Pacquiao didn't stop being great. He just took a break. It started with whispers, a few seconds of blurry mitt work leaked online, then a clearer shot. Manny Pacquiao in full gear, shadow boxing at Wild Card. No formal announcement, no press release, just motion. Speed, that unmistakable rhythm, and suddenly boxing fans who had long moved on were glued to their screens, whispering the same question: is he coming back? Pacquiao hadn't fought in years. He'd become a senator, a philanthropist, a living statue. Most figured he'd spend his later years shaking hands, not throwing them. The Yugas loss felt like the final chapter, not because he looked bad, but because he looked tired. But the thing about warriors, they don't retire because they're tired, they stop when there's nothing left to fight for. Now there's something. Mario Barrios, tall, strong, young, dangerous, a name rising in the welterweight ranks after dominating Yugas. Yes, the same Yugas who beat Manny, and that's where the story twists. That win put Barrios on a map. He didn't ask for one. Roach and Pacquiao intend to redraw. The media questioned everything. Why would Manny do this at 46? Is this desperation, ego? But Roach, never one for drama, shut it down with a single line: he's not doing this for money, he's doing this because he knows he can win. That's not blind loyalty, that's 20 years in the trenches. Roach has seen Pacquiao through wars that would have broken others, from Barrera to Marquez to Thurman. He's been there when the world doubted, and every time Manny proved them wrong. This isn't a midlife crisis, it's unfinished business, and Roach, with that same quiet fire in his voice, is betting it all on the man who built his name, throwing fists so fast the cameras could barely keep up. Barrios may be younger, taller, fresher, but he's about to walk into something he's never faced before. Not just a fighter, not just a legend, but a storm that doesn't know how to quit. If Manny Pacquiao is the fire, Freddie Roach is the match that lit it. Their story isn't just about trainer and fighter, it's about belief. Roach has Parkinson's. He shakes when he talks, sometimes softly, sometimes not at all, but when he steps into the ring, pads on, everything stills. That's not medicine, that's purpose. Before he was in Manny's corner, Roach was just another fighter with bad hands and worse luck. He fought tough, but not smart, and when the lights faded he stayed in the sport because he had nowhere else to go. That's where Wild Card Gym came from. 4 walls, sweat-soaked mats, and a stubbornness that wouldn't die. Then one day in walked a shy, wiry kid from the Philippines, barely spoke English, but when he hit the mitts, Roach felt it in his bones. Lightning.
He fought tough, but not smart. And when the lights faded, he stayed in the sport because he had nowhere else to go.
He'd seen fighters, but this was different. Over 2 decades later, Roach still watches Pacquiao with the same focus, and that's why people listen when he talks, because Freddie doesn't lie. He's told Manny not to fight before. He's walked fighters into retirement when their legs were gone and their reflexes dulled, but not this time, not with Manny. He isn't saying maybe, he's saying can, as in he can beat Barrios. He's sharp, he's strong, and he's smarter now than he's ever been. That last part is key. Because Roach isn't counting on Manny to out-youth Barrios, he's counting on him to outthink him. This isn't the same Pacquiao who brawled with reckless abandon. This is the evolved version, still fast, still unorthodox, but now calculated, and behind that calculation is Roach, meticulous, ruthless, honest. When others see 46, Roach sees 12 rounds of data angles patterns. He sees how Barrios dips his left after the hook, how he retreats in straight lines. He sees not just a path to victory, but a blueprint already in motion, because for Roach this fight isn't just one more payday, it's the final movement in a symphony he's been composing for over 20 years, of final crescendo, and he thinks it ends with Barrios on the canvas. Mario Barrios is not a soft target, he's not a setup, he's not some hand-picked stepping stone to make a legend look good on his way out. He's the real deal, young, tall, durable, and mean in the clinch at 5 feet 10 inches. With a 71 inches reach, he's a natural welterweight who walks opponents down with quiet confidence. He beat Yardeni's Yugas convincingly, and that alone puts him on the radar as a major threat. But here's the twist: beating Yugas doesn't mean you're ready for Pacquiao, especially not the kind of Pacquiao that's still trained by Freddie Roach, because Roach doesn't see Barrios as a mountain, he sees him as a maze, and mazes can be solved.
Mario Barrios is not a soft target. He's not a setup. He's not some hand-picked stepping stone to make a legend look good on his way out.
Barrios is disciplined, but not unpredictable. He relies on rhythm. His jab, while solid, comes from the same angle every time. His bodywork is aggressive, but telegraphed. Roach calls it methodical, which in Freddie speak is code for exploitable. He's got the tools, sure, but Roach's eyes are on the gaps. His feet don't catch up to his hands. Roach says he throws, but he's flat when he resets. Manny thrives on that, and it's true. Watch enough Barrios tape, and you'll notice it. He's great moving forward, but when forced to pivot or fight off the back foot, his timing gets shaky. That's a red flag against a fighter who lives on sharp angles and quick entries like Pacquiao. And there's something else: Barrios has never been in the ring with someone who moves like Manny, not just speed, chaos, controlled, intelligent chaos. Most fighters get flustered when they can't find their target. Barrios, he tightens up, he turns mechanical.
Huge right hand, the jab. There's that.
That's the real danger. Barrios is walking into a fight where the rhythm he depends on will be torn apart by movement. He's never prepared for. Roach knows it, Manny knows it, and if Barrios doesn't adapt mid-fight, something he's never had to do at this level, he won't survive the storm, he'll drown in it. At 46, you don't train harder, you train smarter. That's the gospel Freddie Roach has been preaching in the quiet corners of Wildcard. Gone are the days of sparring 8 rounds with 3 different partners. Back to back now, every minute counts, every punch has a purpose, and every session ends not with exhaustion, but with calculation. Manny used to be the gym's chaos engine, blitzing through heavy bags, shadow boxing like his life depended on it, doubling up on road work just to feel tired. But this camp is different. The fire's still there, but it's focused, sharpened, refined. Roach designed this camp with surgical precision, not to chase what Manny was, but to extract what's still.
Landed very close.
Roach's mantra this time around is no wasted movement. Every punch thrown in camp is reviewed, every session is documented. There are less rounds, but more film, less damage, but more depth. Manny no longer trains to break his body, he trains to preserve it, and sharpen the tools he'll need for just 36 minutes in the ring. Even recovery is tactical. Cryotherapy sessions, nutrition tailored down to the molecule, reflex drills with LED lights instead of just sparring. Roach's team includes a movement coach now. Someone who studies how Pacquiao steps, rotates, even breathes between.
3rd and 3 of the last 4 rounds. Look at the total jabs landed and thrown. Pacquiao 23%.